The moment you realize that separating work from life is a myth, everything changes. Work is not just a place where you clock in, punch out, and then rush home to your personal life. No, it's a part of who you are, and you can't compartmentalize it. It doesn't matter if you're chasing dreams in an office or driving around in a luxury car. The key isn't to separate them, it's to integrate them. Life, with all its chaos, beauty, and challenges, is one long journey. Don't try to make it into two. When you're out there on the road on the journey to success, it's not just about the destination. It's about the people you meet along the way, the lessons you learn, the ones who push you, the ones who inspire you. Your family, your colleagues, they should be with you every step of the way. Work and life should blend seamlessly, creating a life filled with purpose and connection. Don't hide your loved ones away when you're building your empire. Share that experience with them. Make them part of your mission, part of your story. Imagine this. You're sitting in a meeting, discussing the future, and your child is there with you, asking about the world. Instead of feeling like you need to rush home, you embrace the moment, knowing that everything is interconnected. There's no division, no separation. It's all one journey. And when you look around, you realize the people you love are not just a part of your life, they are part of your growth. That's the power of integration. It's the power of merging your professional and personal life into one unstoppable force. This is how you make a life worth living, not one that's spent running from one compartment to the next. The true success lies in blending it all together. You can build an empire, and at the same time, you can build memories with the ones you love. Stop trying to separate. Embrace the integration. Your life will be fuller, richer, and far more meaningful when everything work, play, love is part of the same story. You think you control what goes into your body, but you don't. Your emotions do, and that's the problem. When you allow your emotions to dictate what you eat, you're giving up your power. You're handing control over to something that isn't real, something that won't serve you in the long run. It's easy to think food is the answer to everything. Stress, boredom, loneliness, sadness, all of these emotions push you toward the fridge. But you know what you're really craving isn't food, it's control. It's a sense of peace, of power over your own life. And food, in that moment, feels like the easiest answer. But it isn't. It never was. What happens when you give in to emotional eating is simple. You rob yourself of confidence. You start to feel weak. You break promises to yourself. Every time you go to that fridge, out of habit, out of emotion, you're telling yourself that you can't keep your word, that you're not in control. And with every bite, that feeling deepens. It's time to take back control. It's time to realize that confidence isn't built on how many calories you burn or how little you eat. It's built on keeping the promises you make to yourself, especially in private. When you say no to that extra slice of cake, when you choose water over soda, you build confidence. You send a powerful message to yourself that you are in charge, that you own your choices. And every choice like that is a step toward greater control over your own life. Emotional eating isn't a solution, it's a distraction. It's a way of avoiding the real work of facing your feelings, processing them, and letting them go. Instead of feeding your emotions with food, feed them with honesty. Feed them with reflection. Feed them with action. When you stop letting your emotions control your eating, you stop letting your emotions control you. You build a foundation of strength and resilience that will carry you through anything. Every small victory over emotional eating is a victory for your soul, a declaration that you are in charge of your life, and that's a life worth living. Here's the truth. The moment you start making decisions based on what others think of you, you lose yourself. You lose your freedom. You lose your power. The pain you've endured in your life, the struggles you've faced, the battles you've fought, none of those people who have opinions about your journey were there with you. They weren't there when you were struggling to make ends meet, or when you were alone in the darkest moments. But here you are, still standing, and yet you're letting their opinions dictate your every move. If you keep living for others, you'll never live for yourself. You'll be caught in a cycle of approval seeking, a cycle that has no end. You can never satisfy everyone, and trying to do so is the quickest path to misery. The truth is, most people haven't done what you're trying to do. They don't know the cost of your journey. And if you let their doubts creep into your decision-making process, you're living their life, not yours. What if, just for a moment, you stopped caring? What if you stopped seeking validation from people who haven't even walked a fraction of the path you've walked? You would be free. Free to make choices that are in alignment with your values, your dreams, and your goals. And when you look back on your life, you'll know that you lived it on your own terms. You didn't live for anyone else's approval, you lived for your own. So stop worrying about what people think. Stop waiting for their permission. Live your life as the person you truly are, without fear, without hesitation. Because at the end of the day, when you take your last breath, the only thing that matters is that you lived authentically. And that's the kind of life worth living. We live in a world that celebrates instant gratification. We want it all, and we want it now. But here's the hard truth. Short-term thinking will destroy you. Success, real success, is built over time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. If you try to rush the process, if you try to take shortcuts, the foundation of your success will be weak and unstable. It will collapse when life tests you, and it will test you. True success isn't about looking for the quick win. It's about making long-term investments. Investments in your future, your relationships, and your growth. The best decisions you make today will bear fruit years from now. And the people you surround yourself with today, those are the ones who will be by your side when the real challenges come. It takes time to build a solid foundation. It takes time to build meaningful relationships. But when you focus on the long game, you are setting yourself up for something far greater than a fleeting win. Take your time. Play the long game. Build relationships that will last. Build skills that will serve you for the rest of your life. And understand this. While others may be chasing quick wins, you'll be building an empire that will stand the test of time. So don't rush the process. Take your time. The future, you will thank you for it. We all know those people who talk about their 17-step morning routine as if it's the secret to their success. They wake up at 4 a.m., meditate for an hour, run for another hour, and then do an intense workout before even starting their day. But here's the question. What happens if they don't do all of that? Does the rest of their day fall apart? The truth is, rigid routines are a trap. They can become a prison that ties you down. Success isn't about following a set of rules that don't fit your lifestyle or personality. It's about flexibility. It's about finding what works for you and having the freedom to adjust as life unfolds. There are a few key actions I take every morning. I take a few minutes to center myself, to reflect on what's important. I prioritize my health with a short workout or a healthy breakfast. Beyond that, everything else is a bonus. It doesn't matter if I miss a step. What matters is that I'm in control of my day. I've set the tone for success without being chained to a checklist of arbitrary tasks. So, let go of the idea that there's one perfect routine. It's not about how many things you can check off your list. It's about how well you prepare your mind for the day ahead. Be fluid, not rigid. Build your own routine, not someone else's. How many times have you rescheduled a meeting or canceled plans because you didn't feel like it? How many times have you let your mood determine your priorities? Every time you do that, you're telling the world that your commitments aren't important. And what happens when you do that? People stop relying on you, they stop trusting you, and you begin to lose respect for yourself. When I started taking my commitments seriously, everything changed. I stopped canceling at the last minute. I stopped making excuses. Because when you don't show up, when you don't honor your word, you're not just letting others down, you're letting yourself down. And that erodes your confidence, your integrity, and your success. Commitments aren't optional. When you make a promise, you keep it. Whether it's with a client, a colleague, or a friend, your word is your bond. And when you show up consistently, when you are reliable, people start to see you as someone they can count on. And that opens doors you never thought possible. So next time you feel like canceling, stop and ask yourself, is this commitment truly unimportant? Or am I just avoiding the discomfort of showing up? Don't break your word. Don't break your integrity. Show up and watch how your life transforms. It's in your pocket, always buzzing, always demanding your attention. That phone in your hand is a professional distractor, and if you let it control you, it will steal your focus and your productivity. Every time your phone vibrates, every time it rings, you're pulled away from the important work you should be doing. But here's the truth. That phone, as powerful as it is a tool that you control, or it controls you. I decided to take control. I turned off all the notifications. No dings, no pings, no alerts to pull me away from what matters most. And let me tell you, it was life-changing. The moment I removed that constant stream of distractions, I was able to focus. I could think clearly. I could get into a flow state, and I became far more productive. Your phone is a tool, but if you let it be a source of constant interruption, it becomes a barrier to your success. Turn off the notifications. Set boundaries. Choose when to check your messages, not when they demand your attention. The less you let your phone control you, the more control you have over your day. Focus is a powerful thing, and distractions are the enemy. Cut them out and watch your productivity soar. We live in a world that glorifies being busy. People wear their busyness as a badge of honor. But the truth is, being busy doesn't mean you're being productive. There's a big difference between being busy and being productive. And most of the time, busy people are just avoiding the real work that needs to be done. I used to think that the more meetings I attended, the more emails I answered, the more work I did, the more successful I would be. But that's an illusion. Meetings, emails, and busy work don't lead to success. They lead to burnout. The real work, the meaningful work, requires space. It requires time to think, to plan, to create. So I started saying no to unnecessary meetings. I started protecting my time. I started giving myself the space to think deeply, to focus on the big decisions that truly matter. And you know what? My productivity skyrocketed. I realized that success isn't about being busy. It's about making time for the decisions that matter, the actions that move you forward, the work that changes everything. Stop filling your calendar with meaningless tasks. Prioritize the important decisions. The busyness is a trap, and only by escaping it can you move toward true success. We live in a world that demands constant mental input. We're told to remember everything, to keep every detail in our heads. But here's a secret. Trying to remember every detail will only slow you down. It will clutter your mind, and in the process, it will prevent you from making the best decisions. When I was younger, I used to stress over remembering everything. I had to know every detail about my business, every number, every plan. But I realized that the key to making great decisions isn't remembering everything, it's knowing where to find the information you need when you need it. I started using tools to help me remember, to organize my thoughts, to capture ideas as they came. I stopped relying on my memory alone, and that freed up mental space. Instead of wasting energy on trying to recall every little detail, I could focus on what really mattered, the big decisions, the creative work, the things that would move me forward. So don't burden yourself with the need to remember everything. Use the tools available to you, delegate what you can, and free up your mind for the important work. Let go of the pressure to be perfect, to remember it all. Trust yourself to handle the big decisions, and the small details will take care of themselves. Addiction comes in many forms. It's not just drugs or alcohol. It's the things you turn to when you're looking for comfort or escape. It's the habits you form when you're avoiding something. And here's the thing, every vice you hold on to is a barrier to your success. I used to indulge in alcohol, late-night partying, and other distractions. At the time, they felt like ways to unwind, ways to deal with stress. But over time, I realized that they weren't helping me. They were holding me back. Every drink, every night out, was one step away from my goals, one step further from the life I truly wanted to build. Success isn't about adding more to your life. It's about taking things away. The more you subtract, the more space you create for what really matters. You don't need to numb yourself with substances or distractions. The true power comes from within. It comes from mastering your mind, from building healthy habits that fuel your success. So, if you're holding on to something that's holding you back, let it go. Let go of the vices that keep you stuck. They're not adding value to your life, they're taking it away. You don't need them to succeed. What you need is clarity, focus, and discipline. Let go of what's not serving you and make room for the life you deserve. How many times has your phone interrupted your day? How many times has a random call taken you away from your work or focus, only to be another distraction that eats into your precious time? We live in an era where everyone has access to us at any given moment. And while that may feel like convenience, it's actually a trap. When I first started working on my own goals, I realized that my phone was a constant source of disruption. Calls from unknown numbers, messages from people who didn't need an immediate response, all of these were stealing my attention from the work that truly mattered. I learned to take control of that. Now, my phone stays on silent most of the day. I've turned off notifications and set specific times to check my messages, and the world didn't fall apart. In fact, it made my day more productive and my focus sharper. When you decide to stop answering every call, you decide that your time is valuable. You decide that your priorities come first. And that's when things begin to shift. So, stop answering random calls, protect your time, set boundaries, and allow yourself the space to do the work that truly matters. Let the world wait for you to get back to them. When you manage your time with intention, you become more present in your own life. There's a misconception that you have to finish every book you start. People will ask, "Did you finish that book?" as if finishing it is some sort of achievement. The reality is, not every book is worth finishing. Not every piece of information is going to change your life. And sometimes, the value of a book is in the single idea it presents, not the entire read. I've stopped pressuring myself to finish every book. If a book doesn't hold my attention, if it doesn't offer something that sparks a new way of thinking, then I put it down. I move on to something that will push me forward. I read for knowledge, not for completion. Success doesn't come from consuming endless information. It comes from applying what you learn. If a book gives you one idea that can change your life, then that's enough. Don't waste your time on things that don't contribute to your growth. Be selective about the knowledge you let into your life. And when something isn't serving you, let it go. You don't have to finish it. You just need to get the lesson. Multitasking is an illusion. It's not real. People like to believe that they can juggle multiple tasks at once, that they can work on several things simultaneously and still be productive. But the truth is, multitasking slows you down. It doesn't make you more efficient. It just fragments your attention and decreases the quality of your work. I've stopped trying to do everything at once. Instead, I focus on one thing, one task at a time. I give that task my full attention, and once it's done, I move on to the next. When you focus on the task at hand, you complete it faster and with better results. The more you try to do at once, the more you dilute your ability to do anything well. Multitasking isn't a skill, it's a trap. And the sooner you realize that, the faster you'll move towards success. Focus on one thing. Give it everything you've got, and move on. It's that simple. There's something powerful about the people you surround yourself with. They either elevate you or bring you down. And the truth is, many of us spend too much time with people who drain our energy. These are the people who criticize, complain, and hold us back. They are energy vampires, and the longer you stay in their orbit, the more they will take from you. I had to make a hard decision. I started removing these people from my life. I stopped spending time with people who weren't supportive, who didn't have the same ambitions or values as me. It wasn't easy, especially when they were family or close friends. But I realized that my time, my energy, and my focus were more important than maintaining relationships that were holding me back. The moment I made that shift, my life changed. I surrounded myself with people who inspired me, who challenged me to grow, and who shared my vision for success. And that made all the difference. You are the sum of the people you spend the most time with. Protect your energy. Be mindful of who you let into your life and make sure that they are lifting you up, not holding you down. When you surround yourself with positivity, growth, and support, success becomes inevitable. You can't make everyone happy, and the more you try, the more you lose yourself in the process. The truth is, their reality is theirs, and your reality is yours. You are not responsible for how others feel, especially if you're making decisions that are right for you. If you constantly bend to the will of others, trying to please everyone around you, you'll end up living someone else's life. I've learned to accept that some decisions won't make everyone happy. In fact, some people will be upset, disappointed, or frustrated with me, but that's not my problem. What's important is that I'm making decisions that align with my values, my goals, and my vision for my life. I stopped being afraid of other people's reactions. I stopped letting their expectations dictate my choices. When you make decisions based on your truth, based on your purpose, you are no longer a prisoner to anyone else's narrative. And the people who matter, the ones who truly care about you, will respect your decisions, even if they don't always agree with them. It's time to stop trying to make everyone happy. It's time to live for you. There's a myth that the successful hustle through the night, that staying up late makes them more productive. But the truth is, it's the opposite. I used to stay up late to finish work, to attend social gatherings, to please others. But in doing so, I was sacrificing my most valuable asset, my energy. I now prioritize sleep like it's my most important meeting. My day starts early, and I make sure I get enough rest to wake up feeling refreshed, ready to tackle whatever comes my way. When I began to value my sleep, everything changed. I stopped allowing late nights to drain me. I set boundaries, and I learned to say no when social events or work threatened to take my precious rest. Success isn't about pushing through exhaustion, it's about honoring your body and mind. Rest is just as important as the work you do. If you don't rest, you won't be able to show up as your best self. So, set an alarm to remind you when it's time to wind down. Honor your sleep, and let your mornings be the most productive part of your day. Taking full responsibility for your life is a game changer. Stop blaming others for your circumstances. Your life, your success, your failures, everything is within your control. Blaming others is a trap, a way to avoid taking accountability for your actions. When you blame, you give away your power. You let someone else control your fate. I had to stop blaming people and start taking full responsibility for my life. If something didn't go the way I wanted, I didn't point fingers. Instead, I asked myself, what can I do differently? This shift in mindset was liberating. The moment you accept that you are the creator of your life, everything changes. You begin to realize that you are the one who controls your future. Blaming others takes energy, but taking responsibility gives you the power to change. It puts you in the driver's seat of your life. So stop blaming others. Take charge, and you'll find that you have the strength to overcome any obstacle. The more you grow, the more people will want a piece of your time. They will ask for favors, seek advice, or demand your attention. And while it feels good to say yes, saying yes to everyone means saying no to yourself. It means sacrificing your time, your energy, and your focus on what matters most. I used to say yes to everyone. I wanted to be liked, to be helpful, to please others. But I quickly realized that I was spreading myself too thin. My goals were being pushed aside. My progress was stagnating because I was too busy saying yes to everything. Now, I've learned to say no. I've learned that it's okay to protect my time. Every yes I give away is an opportunity taken from my dreams. Saying no doesn't mean I don't care. It means I care more about my own goals, my own priorities. If you want to be successful, you have to be intentional with your time. Learn to say no and watch your life and your productivity soar. Overthinking is one of the most common traps people fall into. We want every decision to be perfect. We want all the answers before we take action. But the truth is, waiting for perfection will only keep you stuck. You will never have all the information you need to make a decision, but you can still decide. I learned to make decisions with imperfect data. I stopped waiting for the perfect moment. and started acting. The fear of making the wrong choice held me back for years, but once I took the first step, I realized that mistakes are part of the process. Every decision, whether right or wrong, is an opportunity to learn and grow. Leadership is about making decisions, not waiting for the perfect scenario. If you're overthinking, you're wasting time. Sometimes, you just have to make the decision and adjust as you go. Trust yourself to figure it out along the way. Stop overthinking. Start doing. Comparison is the thief of joy. The moment you start measuring your success against someone else's, you lose sight of your own unique path. You can't live someone else's life. You don't have their experiences, their strengths, or their journey. And that's a beautiful thing, because your path is yours, and it's the only one that matters. I stopped comparing myself to others. I stopped looking at their achievements and feeling inadequate. I realized that I'm only competing with myself, my yesterday's version, my past self, and that's what drives me forward. When you stop comparing, you stop feeling like you're behind. You start to see how far you've come. The most powerful thing you can do is embrace your uniqueness. Don't try to be someone else. Be the best version of yourself. Focus on your progress, your growth, and your journey. That's where the real joy comes from. Stop comparing. Start living. Your life is yours to create. Now, take a moment to reflect. The changes you make today will shape the person you become tomorrow. The power to transform your life lies within you. Every decision, every action, is an opportunity to break free from old habits and step into a new version of yourself. The road to success isn't always easy, but it's always worth it. And the most important step is the one you take right now. So, ask yourself, what's one thing you can do today to start living a life on your terms? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. Your journey begins when you decide to make it happen, and there's no better time than now. If you're ready to take control of your life, to build the future you've always dreamed of, then hit that subscribe button and join our community. Let's continue this journey together. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Don't just watch, take action, because the life you want is waiting for you. Remember, you're only one decision away from a completely different life. Let's make it happen. If you haven't already, subscribe to Voice of Awakening for more life-changing insights and inspiration. And remember, this is just the beginning. Stay tuned, stay focused, and stay committed to your growth. Let's rise together.